At exactly 9:17 p.m., every customer inside the Red Rock Diner froze. An 8-year-old boy quietly slipped a folded napkin into the waitress's hand. He smiled, then walked out with a man who never looked at him once. The napkin contained only 6 words. "Please don't let him see this." Emily looked toward the parking lot. The black SUV was already pulling away. She glanced at the license plate, then whispered it to herself. She had no idea. Those 7 numbers were about to save a child's life. The SUV disappeared into the darkness before Emily could react. She looked down at the crumpled napkin again. "Please don't let him see this." Her hands trembled. The little boy hadn't looked scared. He hadn't cried. He hadn't asked for help. That was what frightened her the most. Children who are truly terrified often stay quiet. Emily rushed outside. The highway was almost empty. The SUV's taillights had already vanished behind the hills. She closed her eyes for just a second, then quietly repeated the license plate. Arizona, KXF 7319. Again, KXF 7319. She repeated it until she knew she would never forget it. Inside the diner, another customer approached. "You okay?" Emily forced a smile. "Yeah, I think so." But something felt terribly wrong. 20 minutes later, her shift ended. Most people would have gone home. Emily drove straight to the Cedar Ridge Sheriff's Office. The night deputy looked surprised. "You remembered a license plate because a kid handed you a napkin?" Emily nodded. "I know it sounds crazy." The deputy unfolded the napkin. His smile disappeared, without saying another word. He carried it into the sheriff's office. 5 minutes later, Sheriff Daniel Brooks walked out holding a missing child bulletin. He placed it beside the napkin. Emily stared at the photograph. Her heart nearly stopped. It was the same little boy, same blue hoodie, same brown hair, same quiet smile. "Ethan Walker," the sheriff said, "missing for 36 hours. Emily whispered, "I served him chocolate pie." The room fell silent. The sheriff immediately ordered dispatch to run the license plate. Everyone waited. 10 seconds, 20, 30. Finally, the computer beeped, but the result made no sense. The plate didn't exist. Sheriff Brooks frowned at the computer screen. "Run it again." The dispatcher typed the plate a second time. Nothing. No registration. No insurance. No vehicle record. Detective Lisa Monroe stepped into the room. Maybe she remembered it wrong. Emily shook her head. "I remember license plates every night. It's how I keep track of repeat customers." Lisa studied Emily for a long moment. "You sound very sure." "I am." The detective picked up the diner security footage. "Let's see what the cameras caught." Minutes later, the black SUV appeared on screen. Everyone leaned closer. The vehicle was there. The boy was there. Emily was there. But when Lisa zoomed in on the license plate, it was completely blurred. Not because of poor camera quality. Every single frame showed the same blur, almost as if the plate had been designed not to be read. The room fell silent. "Professional plate shield," Lisa whispered. "They planned this." The detective checked traffic cameras along Highway 62. One camera captured the SUV, then another, then nothing. The vehicle disappeared between 2 intersections. "There aren't any exits there," the sheriff said. "It couldn't just vanish." Lisa pointed to an old county map hanging on the wall. "There used to be one." Everyone turned. A faded dirt road crossed into abandoned mining land. It had been removed from GPS maps years ago. Someone who knew the area could disappear there in minutes. Deputies rushed to the location. Fresh tire tracks cut through the dust, but after half a mile, the tracks stopped. There were no turn marks, no signs of another road, nothing. It looked as if the SUV had simply disappeared into the desert. One deputy whispered, "That's impossible." Lisa wasn't convinced. People disappear. Cars don't. As officers searched the area, Emily couldn't stop thinking about one detail. The boy never looked at the man beside him, not once. He kept looking at the diner window, as if he had been waiting for someone to notice him. Then Emily remembered something she hadn't told anyone. When she served the chocolate pie, the boy had quietly traced one shape into the spilled syrup with his finger. At the time, it looked meaningless. Now she realized it wasn't random. It was a map. Detective Lisa Monroe stared at Emily's drawing. This isn't random. She pulled an old county survey book from a dusty shelf. Inside was a forgotten map printed 22 years earlier. The shape matched perfectly. An abandoned mining tunnel. It had been sealed after a collapse nearly 2 decades ago. Officially. No one had entered it since, but someone had. Fresh tire tracks surrounded the rusted steel gate. One heavy chain had been cut only hours before. Sheriff Brooks raised his radio. Nobody goes in alone. Within minutes, deputies surrounded the entrance. Flashlights pierced the darkness. The air inside was cold and silent. Every step echoed through the tunnel. 50 yards in, they found a child's blue sneaker. It matched the one Ethan had been wearing in the missing child bulletin. Lisa carefully picked it up. It's recent. Emily, waiting outside, felt her stomach tighten. If Ethan had been here, where was he now? Suddenly, a deputy shouted from deeper inside, "Sheriff, you need to see this." Everyone rushed forward. Hidden behind an old wooden wall was a steel door, brand new. Someone had built it recently. Brooks signaled 2 deputies. They forced it open. Inside, the room was empty. No child, no kidnapper, only a folding chair, a cheap table, several empty food containers, and dozens of newspaper clippings about missing children from different states. Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, California. Lisa slowly looked around. This wasn't built for one victim. It was built for many. The sheriff's radio suddenly crackled. Dispatch to Sheriff Brooks. We found the black SUV. Everyone froze. Location? It isn't at the mine. It's parked behind Red Rock Diner. Emily's face went pale. That's impossible. I've been here the whole time. The sheriff immediately ordered every unit back to the diner. Someone had returned. But why? As officers sped toward the highway, one deputy quietly whispered, "What if the kidnapper wanted us to find the tunnel?" Nobody answered, because they were all thinking the same thing. If the tunnel was only a distraction, then Ethan was somewhere else, and time was running out. Police cruisers screeched into the Red Rock Diner parking lot. The black SUV was exactly where Emily had seen it earlier. Its engine was off. The headlights were dark, but someone was sitting behind the steering wheel. Sheriff Brooks stepped out with his weapon drawn. "Driver, show me your hands." The man slowly raised both hands. He looked calm, almost relieved. Deputies pulled him from the vehicle and forced him to the ground. Detective Lisa searched the SUV. There was no sign of Ethan. No rope, no weapon, no fingerprints except the driver's. Then she found something strange. A brand new smartphone. The screen displayed only one message. Phase 1 complete. No sender, no number. Just those 3 words. Lisa looked toward the suspect. "Who sent this?" The man smiled. "I've never seen that phone before." His answer made no sense. The phone had been inside his vehicle, yet his fingerprints weren't on it. Forensics sealed it as evidence. Back at the sheriff's office, detectives questioned the suspect for nearly 2 hours. His name was Ryan Mercer, age 36, no criminal record, no connection to Ethan Walker, no connection to the abandoned mine. Every answer checked out. His employer confirmed he had worked that morning. Traffic cameras showed him driving alone. His DNA matched nothing in any criminal database. Everything pointed to one conclusion: Ryan Mercer was innocent. But then, why had Ethan walked away with him? Detective Lisa replayed the diner security footage one more time. This time, she ignored the boy. She ignored the SUV. She watched Emily, frame by frame. Emily walked toward the table carrying chocolate pie. She placed the plate down. Then, for less than 1 second, she unknowingly blocked the security camera. Just 1 second. When she stepped away, the napkin had already changed hands. Nobody could see who had passed it. Lisa froze the frame. There was someone else. Sheriff Brooks frowned. "What do you mean?" Lisa zoomed in on the diner's front window. A faint reflection appeared in the glass. Not the kidnapper, not Ethan. A third person, standing outside, watching everything. The reflection was blurry, but one detail stood out. The person was wearing a bright yellow rain jacket. No one inside the diner had noticed them. No witness mentioned them. No camera captured their face. It was as if they had planned to stay invisible. Then dispatch interrupted over the radio. "Detective Monroe, we've identified the smartphone." Lisa grabbed the radio. "Who owns it?" The dispatcher hesitated. "You won't believe this. The phone belongs to a woman who disappeared 11 years ago." The room fell completely silent. Detective Lisa Monroe stared at the evidence table. A phone belonging to a woman who had disappeared 11 years earlier had somehow ended up inside Ryan Mercer's SUV. None of it made sense. Then the crime lab called. "There are fresh fingerprints on the phone." "Whose?" "They belong to Ethan Walker." The room went silent. Sheriff Brooks looked confused. If Ethan touched the phone recently, then he was alive after the kidnapping. Lisa suddenly remembered the reflection in the diner window. The yellow jacket. It wasn't the kidnapper. It was the rescuer. She ordered deputies to replay every highway camera within 50 miles. Finally, one blurry camera captured the person in the yellow rain jacket. They weren't following the SUV. They were following Ethan. Moments later, the person was identified. Her name was Sarah Collins, the same woman everyone believed had disappeared 11 years ago. She wasn't dead. She had been living under a new identity after entering a federal witness protection program. Years earlier, Sarah had escaped a child trafficking network. When she saw Ethan secretly pass the napkin to Emily, she immediately recognized the warning signs. Instead of confronting the kidnapper, she quietly followed the SUV. She waited until it stopped near the abandoned mine. Then she rescued Ethan while the kidnapper briefly left the vehicle, knowing the police would search the mine first. She drove Ethan to a nearby highway patrol station using back roads. At that exact moment, Ryan Mercer unknowingly drove away in the same SUV. His vehicle had been stolen earlier that evening while he stopped at a gas station. The kidnappers abandoned it after realizing police were closing in. Ryan had no idea. He simply got back into what he believed was his own SUV. Minutes later, he drove straight back to the diner to ask if anyone had called about his missing keys. Instead, he drove into the middle of a kidnapping investigation. Detective Lisa smiled for the first time all night. Ryan wasn't the kidnapper. He was just in the wrong place, at the worst possible time. Hours later, Ethan was safely reunited with his father as reporters surrounded the courthouse. One question remained. Sheriff Brooks turned toward Emily. "You remembered 7 numbers. That was enough to save a child's life." Emily quietly smiled. It wasn't the license plate. It was the look in his eyes. He wasn't asking for help. He was asking someone to believe him. Sometimes, the smallest detail changes everything. A folded napkin, 7 numbers, 1 decision, and 1 child finally went home. Thank you for watching The Dark Truth Files. If you enjoy fictional psychological crime, stories inspired by real investigative methods, subscribe for a new mystery every week. This story is entirely fictional and created for entertainment purposes only.